Lincoln Riley is leaving Oklahoma. He's going to take the head coaching position at USC. That's right. The 38-year-old Riley has been the Sooners coach since January of 2017. He has had 2 Heisman winners in Norman, Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray, 4 Big 12 championships, made the college football playoff 3 times, but now he is taking his talents to the Pacific Ocean, going to LA. Lincoln Riley to SC. Wow. All right, Barrett Saleh, and let's get Dennis Dodd into the mix. This is huge news in college football. Dennis, I'll start with you. Translate this.
Well, I'm floored. I mean, I think that's the initial reaction when I think we all put it to bed last night when Lincoln Riley said after the Bedlam loss that I'm not going to LSU. What he was saying was, I'm not going to the SEC, and I'm not going to LSU, and I'm not going back to Oklahoma. He'd been talking, obviously, to USC for a while about this job. The money's the money. The money was going to be the same roughly at LSU as it was at USC. You can get USC donors to pony up for Lincoln Riley. This is a lifestyle change. This is a chance to chase something different. I'm assuming he thought he'd accomplished everything he had at Oklahoma, except win a playoff game, obviously. But the sense of betrayal that Oklahoma has to feel right now, don't think for a second that their move to the SEC, in some small part, depended on Lincoln Riley being there long term and leading them into excellence. Part of this story now is, where does Oklahoma turn? There's no Lincoln Riley out there. They're LSU. They're grabbing at straws. So, and they go into the LSU. So, there's a lot of people in the Big 12 saying, you know what, that knife in the back, how's it feel right now? And that's kind of how it feels at Oklahoma. We're going to hear from him sooner or later. But and the final thought on that is the best day for the Pac-12 in about a decade. USC finds its next Pete Carroll. I mean, they found the best name on the board they could get. This elevates USC, and by association, the Pac-12, which I don't have to recount, that hasn't been in the playoff for years, continues to flounder, is an afterthought. Not anymore. The flagship program is a fantastic coach.
Yeah, it's so interesting, Dennis, because you mentioned maybe he hit his ceiling at Oklahoma, and I think part of that is the fact that you can't recruit at Oklahoma the way that you recruit in the SEC, and he knows that. So he's done more with less, and I think that because of that, he looks at the future and thinks, well, okay, going to be an SEC head coach in about 3 years when Oklahoma moves to the SEC. How difficult is that going to be? And the truth of the matter is, it's going to be almost impossible, because he's not going to get the Jimmies and the Joes that he needs to compete on a week-in, week-out basis. So what do? Well, you go to LA, where you don't have to compete with the SEC. He can sell his system to players in Southern California. Coaches are going to flock to him and try to get their players to commit to the program. So
Barrett,
it's
we
really
know,
a perfect
we know he
situation.
can recruit there. Right now, Lincoln Riley has 3 huge recruits coming to Norman next year, 2 5-stars and a 4-star, and all 3 live within 30 miles of USC. So he went into their neighborhood and already ate their lunch recruiting-wise. I sort of see this, Dennis, as you looked at a beachfront, beautiful property with a dilapidated house, and you said, I can fix that. And when I fix that, that's going to be amazing. Now, I live on a beautiful country ranch right now, but it's already fixed up. I can fix this up, and then it's going to be worth so much more than when I walked in. Is USC, if you get it right, a better job than Oklahoma?
If you get it right, it is. Because as Barrett mentioned, you're still scrambling to recruit there. There's not as big as a recruiting base. Oklahoma's recruiting base, going back to Bud Wilkinson, has been Texas, where they've competed favorably against Texas. I think a big part of this, and it may remain unspoken except for here, is going into the SEC. You're not only recruiting against Texas still, but Texas A&M, and now they're in your league. They may be in your division. I don't know how that thing's gonna go, and what's that going to look like? So it's tough for the right person at Oklahoma. I don't want to say it's any easier at USC. Yeah, he's got those 3 guys from California, but guess what? Everybody else is recruiting in Southern California. The top 4 quarterbacks in the country: Bryce Young, DJ. CJ Stroud at Ohio State traveled a combined 8,000 miles to be at their schools to
And part of that, though, is because they didn't want to stay home, right? I mean, listen, I got to leave because I don't like what. But with Lincoln Riley now, I don't have to leave, I guess is what I would think about that. Barrett, let me jig you in on this. Are you surprised? And what's the better job overall? Is this a lateral move? Is it a move up? Is it a move down, in your opinion?
Well, I think it's a move up. And Eric, you used the real estate reference. And I think that's a very good way to look at this because his house and his neighborhood was kind of stuck in Norman. Like, this is it. It's not going to get any better. So if you can go to LA and you can build your house, renovate a house that's on the beach, that has the view that you want, then do it. And I think the success that USC had before it's fallen into this decade of dysfunction, it's still there. You can go get that. You can still be a successful juggernaut, especially in the Pac-12. I mean, look, we talk about Lincoln Riley getting kids in Southern California now. Think about what Mario Cristobal's been doing. He's been going down to Southern California and getting dudes since he got to Oregon, first as an assistant and now as the head coach. And so USC has to find a way to stop that. Lincoln Riley's system is going to play extremely well. Basically every high school in California runs what Lincoln Riley runs. So it is a step up from Oklahoma because I think for Lincoln Riley specifically, considering where that program is headed to the SEC, he realizes that's going to be a much harder job moving forward. USC is probably going to be a little bit easier.
Dennis, wrap this up. Do you agree that it's a better job? Overall, things considered, he took a better job, and this is a move up, not a lateral move.
That's not a lateral move. At age 38, at the top of his profession, if he can get there and recruit like Pete Carroll did, who got in a car and recruited 50-mile radius and brought in All-America 5 stars, and then maybe went to Florida to get a Mike Williams or something like that, he can do that. And that's what they were longing for. Barrett raised a good point. When Mario Cristobal in your own league is getting Kayvon Thibodeau out of Southern California and quarterbacks and talent and top 5 recruiting classes, you know something's wrong. And we should give a shout out here to Mike Bone, the AD at USC, who kept this under wraps, did not let anybody know about it. There was a point 2 weeks ago, EK, where Lincoln Riley was not around on a Tuesday, the Tuesday of the Baylor game, and he never explained why. He missed his press conference, he missed his radio show, and never did explain. He said it was personal reasons. I think we know where he was on that Tuesday, and even if he wasn't, we now know that he was negotiating or whatever, talking to USC in the middle of a season while Oklahoma was pursuing a playoff spot. It wouldn't be the first time by a coach, but things are changing fast in college football, and this is the mother of them all so far.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.